Oh, Randy,
Hey,
you go
Randy.
first.
How are you?
Great.
What makes you smile right now about the way the defense has played during, the modified, the modified spring practices?
I think the improvement of fundamentals, in all fairness, Randy, I think our guys have done a great job. I mean, it's been the focus of our spring from top to bottom, from old guys to young guys, improving just, their craft. And I think, when I watch, Monday's practice, I see improvement since, practice one. So I think that's probably the thing that I feel best about that we've accomplished at this point.
Anybody standing out that fans might not know that much about, although you've got a very deep defense? Anybody standing out beyond the regulars?
Oh, I wouldn't want to say that one guy stands out. I think our team as a whole, I think we've just made great improvement. I think the focus was, the fundamental part of it, the craft part of it, to be better at that. And I think we've shown great improvement. We're not where we need to be, but we are further along than we were. So, I don't think, I think mostly the guys, I would give some credit to our really young people, to Malik, Verdon, to Howard Brown. When I watch, the really young people that just showed up here, those guys have had impressive improvements, and what they've been asked to do has been very difficult in times like this. And I think for a couple really young kids, I think those guys, and they're not kids, for really young players, college players, they've done a great job.
Thanks, John.
Yes, sir.
Hey, John, it's Travis Hines. How are you?
Hey, Travis, I'm great. Thank you.
You mentioned the focus on fundamentals, and from your perspective, what has been the benefit of that for the defense at large?
Well, it's really how you play, Travis. I think the reality of it is sometimes in the world that we get on treadmills and just see how fast we can go and how many schematical things we can get put in, and got to stop third down, got to stop coming out, got to stop 2 minute, first down and 10, 12 personnel, all the different things. And I think it's really stopped us as coaches to say, man, let's go back, evaluate last fall. It was a unique time. We didn't have spring ball. We really didn't have a lot of summer camp. And what are the things that our guys were just okay at in critical situations? And I think that's what it's allowed us to do.
Is there anything when you were doing that evaluation, I guess, in terms of production that you feel like you guys need to be better at this upcoming season?
I think our guys did a great job with, the situation that was handed to them. And I give our guys a lot of credit for that. I think there are a lot of things that showed up on that videotape that I'm sure opponents are watching. It's our job to help eliminate some of those issues, whether it be from a technique thing, whether it be from a schematical thing, whether it be from starting fast, all the different areas that you go through. But, I just think there were things that we were just okay at. And at the same point in time, I thought our guys did a tremendous job with the scenario that our players were put in and handling some adversity at different times. And, but, were there areas that we were just okay? For sure there were. And that's what we're trying to work on.
What's the dynamic like for you guys in terms of the experience on your side of the ball, just from you've got guys that played when they were young and then now getting this additional year, just a lot of experience for you guys? How's that? How do you see that playing out in the fall?
Well, I think it's been great to this point. I think those guys have had tremendous purpose. I think the concern you have is if the same team is coming back, you're going to be just the same. And we can't, even though the same people are coming back, we have to be a better team. We have to be better defense. We have to be better at our techniques. And I think that's the reality of when you have veteran teams, in my experiences, that, hey, you got this team coming back. Well, sure, if it's the same team, we're in trouble. If it's an improved team, we'll be better. and that will help us. And I think those are the things that you look at as a coach, as I do, is, again, being in this a little bit, that becomes the real thing. The reality of that is our older guys, that group that you're talking about, has had tremendous intent and purpose at practice and in the weight room and in the dining hall and all of those things. And as long as they're improving, we'll be a better team, moving forward.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Coach, Ben Visser here from the Cedar Rapids Gazette. You mentioned that some of those older guys have had intent in the dining room, and on the surface, that sounds kind of funny, but I think of a guy like Will McDonald in that. I think when we talked to Coach Rashid, he said he was up to about 245. What have you seen from Will McDonald throughout this spring and his new added bulk that he's put on?
Well, I think the intent of the dining hall is kind of that is interesting statement. But I think the reality, our guys have had great awareness. I think Rachel has done a tremendous job in nutrition. I think it's been an added a bonus to us here in the last, 365 days. And I think our guys have taken, again, a tremendous advantage of that scenario. There are some guys that are trying to add, some that are trying to lose, some guys are trying to tone, all that different thing. A guy like Will has been able to add, and I think it's been natural. I think the weight room and the nutritional side and learning how to eat and doing all those things has paid tremendous dividends. And I think the thing that you look for is consistency. And I think that's what he's been able to do. It's easy to say, hey, I gained 5 pounds or I lost 5 pounds. I think we all can do that in the dining hall. I think the reality of it is can you consistently improve your body week in, week out for a 7-week period, a 14-week period, a 21-week period, and prepare yourself for the fall. And I think Will's done a good job of it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Coach Dave Sproul from KASI Radio here. Before camp, Coach Campbell talked about wanting to have less contact to help guys stay fresher. How did that adjust what you did defensively, and how do you think that worked out health-wise for your guys?
Well, I think it was, I think it was tremendous. I think the reality became that you spent time on fundamentals. You weren't, running into each other. It was a really, truly a fundamental period time. I think it, I think that it showed tremendous benefits. I feel like as the coordinator and watching all the different position groups that it's allowed us to improve at our craft, which was important, which there were some areas, again, as I alluded to earlier, we were just okay at. And I think it's allowed our guys to do that. I think it's helped develop the young group. I think this whole process that Coach has put us under and through, I think it has allowed us to develop our young people at a faster rate than maybe we would have in other springs. So I think that part of it was really good. And I think it's allowed us as coaches to dissect everything we're teaching, from the drills to what we're putting on video to what we're asking our guys to do at practice, from tackling to, block destruction to all the above. And I think it's been excellent. It is a little different on defense because we are reactionary, but I think in the big picture, I think it's been everything we had hoped it would be.
Hey, Coach, this is Michael Swain from 24/7 Sports. Obviously lost Lawrence White from last year's team. Was just maybe wondering who are some of the players that you've seen step into that free safety spot this spring?
Well, losing Lawrence, obviously, again, you're talking about a lot of reps and a quality young guy and a really good football player. So, I think the thing we've been trying to do is get guys ready to play both safeties. Obviously, Greg in there, Craig McDonald, DJ Miller, Kamani King, our young guys, like I mentioned, Malik. Those guys have done a good job. And we'll look and continue to, I don't think anybody's really won or lost positions. We'll continue to evaluate that spot as we move forward. But there's been great progress. We moved Verdell Edwards to the star position, our middle safety. He and Mason and Hashim have been in there working. They've done a good job. And so we'll just continue to work all of those guys, trying not to get locked into boundary safety, field safety at this point.
And You guys also added Jaquan Amos from Villanova. I'm not sure if you're able to comment on him, but if you are, what do you feel like he brings when he gets here eventually?
I guess I'm not sure if I'm able to or not, but he will at some point in time here be with us for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Hello, Coach. Sam Stuvie, Iowa State Daily. I was just wondering what your thoughts are on Jaquan Bailey and Lawrence White as they kind of take their next step and look to get into the NFL.
Well, I love those guys. First of all, they've done tremendous things here for this program and for themselves to allow them the opportunity. And they've allowed us to be where we're sitting at today, and they went through the hard times, and I'm glad to see them have opportunities. I thought they both had excellent pro days. And I think it's been really, a situation where you just hope for the best. We talk about them, daily around here. What have you heard? All of those things. And it gets this time where you don't really hear much or know much. And you're hopeful that they just get an opportunity. I think that's the reality of the draft. Again, without, all the combines and coaches being around, all of those things, I think you probably know less than you ever have from the college side of it. So I think those things are a little bit different. But, man, I surely hope those guys get opportunities. And if they do, they'll go have a chance to do the things they want to do because of who they are.
My second question here is what have you seen from your guys on defense in terms of strength and conditioning kind of across the board?
Well, I think the goal was to get bigger, faster, stronger. I think when we came back from the bowl game, I think that was a priority with Coach Campbell and Coach Andrews and his staff. Our staff here is on offense and defense, and I think our guys have. I think we've worked through spring, through the different cycles of lifting. It's almost, I think, been up to 14 weeks now of straight, weight training, those kind of things. So I think it's been excellent. I think our guys look different. I think, again, we're still kind of in the middle of that. Sam, I think we're still working through that, but I don't think there's any question that you see a difference in our players, the way they look and handle themselves at practice and, just body types from that standpoint. But I think we're still in the middle of it. I think this whole thing was a plan from January when we returned from the bowl game, and our guys and staff are still working that plan.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
John, it's Randy again.
Yes, sir.
You've seen a lot of college football. In year 6 or 5, whatever this is, Iowa State, I think year 6, to be knocking on the door of the college football playoffs for Iowa State to be there, where does that rank? Was that compared to the beginning? How much of a how huge is that for Iowa State, and how did you guys do it?
Well, shoot, Randy, in all honesty, man, I hope we're not done doing it. It's been a lot of hard work. I think it's been a lot of commitment. I think it's all the things that it ever takes anybody. It's what we set out to do here, and we're still doing it. I don't think, we've reached a point where, man, it's all good. I go back and watch the videotape. It's not all good. Our players came back here because they weren't all good. And I think, that's the fairness. Have we made some accomplishments and really, have our guys done some of those external factor things? Sure they have. And it's been awesome. But I don't think anybody in this building, in fairness, and I know it gets to be kind of coach speak, Randy, I get it, but I think it's real. I think our guys and coaches, and I think we left that bowl game and the Big 12 game and, the Louisiana game and, again, just Oklahoma State. I just think we left those games like, man, there's still a whole bunch out there for us to do. And I really am blessed that our coaches feel that way, that our players feel that way. And, I certainly hope, man, that we're not done doing what we're here to do. And I think that's the purpose of it all. It's been a lot of fun. I would say that we have come a long way. There's no question. And that part of it has been very rewarding. It's really rewarding for me to watch what the players have accomplished. the Lawrence Whites, and they've allowed us to get here. What they bought into, it was originally just kind of a vision. They made it come to life, but I certainly feel like this group of players and coaches is we're still doing what we came here to do, and that's allow our guys to be the best they can be. And I still think we have things to do, and I think the players feel that, and I know this hallway does. So, been a lot of very rewarding, and yet, we're still doing what we came here to do.
When you came to Iowa State and when you saw Iowa State from afar, did you think, okay, I'll take that next step. Did you think playing for the national championship was a possibility?
Well, I think it always is. I don't think you would coach if you didn't think that, or play if you didn't think that. Somebody asked me the same question about our defense a couple months ago. And, did you think you could play defense? And you wouldn't coach or play if you didn't think you could go be the best. And I don't, that's all I know. That's all I've ever coached to do was work to be the best. And whatever that is, that's what you live with. And sometimes the best is 5 wins, and sometimes the best is a national championship. And I've been on both. I've been, our best was 5, and that was the best we could do in places that I've been. I've been to, 4 national championships in the FCS, and, that was the best we could do. And so I guess in fairness, Randy, I always believe, I wouldn't do what I'm doing personally if I didn't think we could go be the best, or, and again, I don't always know what that is. But I don't, again, I guess I don't ever look at it as, hey, we've got to go win the championship. I always feel like the reality of it is you can be as good as you want to be. There's no special place that has to happen. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but I just don't think there's any, we came here to win and coach guys and do the best we could. And we're still trying to do that. And, but I don't ever think there's a limit on where or who or what logo you have. I never bought into any of that, even as I answered the question a month ago about defense. I've been coaching defense all my life, and the goal was to be the best defense in the country, period. And it didn't matter where I was or what logo I had or anything else. That's the goal. That was the purpose. But again, sometimes being the best you can be is 5 wins or 3 wins, and or 3rd in the conference or 7th in the conference. That's the best you can do. But I've never put limits on logos or where I was or any of that stuff. I couldn't wake up every day thinking that I didn't have a chance. I'm the wrong guy for that.
John, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's all we have for you, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate you. Thank you.